Well, it was really a tale of two halves. What the first half of the season really, absolutely, utterly awful. The second half of the season, unstoppable. Obviously, been given £170 million to spend in the transfer window. How much of that I will spend, I will not know. Hello, welcome to part 80 of the Hollywood Dream. And coming up in today's episode, we do have our transfer window, but before we do any transfer business, if we do any transfer business, I'm sure we will do. Don't worry about that. It's not going to be one of those transfer windows where we don't sign anyone, because there will be some movement, I'm sure. I'm just not sure who. But before we do any business of some sorts, let's take a look at our end of season review. Actually, if you didn't see yesterday's episode, we witnessed the most absurd Premier League victory ever. We did win the Premier League. Wasn't expected to, nor was I aiming to win the Premier League. I was sort of just trying to get into the European spots because if you didn't know, or if I didn't mention it enough, if in match week 30 we were 8th in the Premier League, and what do you know? 10 games later, 8 games later, we win the Premier League. So we won the Premier League. We also beat Ipswich 5-2 in the FA Cup final to win that. So it is a domestic double. Don't think we've ever done that before. Not a Premier League and an FA Cup. We might have won a Club South American Challenge and the Europa League and whatnot, but that doesn't really count. But transfers in this year, I think all the transfers this year, absolutely incredible. Valber Velez obviously came in for Isitore because he was out for 3 months, but he was absolutely phenomenal for us. But unfortunately, he's not going to be playing for us for much longer. He is joining RB Leipzig on a free transfer. I wish we could offer him a contract, but obviously Isitore back from injury, absolutely superb. But for this, I'm sure he'll have a. I'm surprised that Liverpool didn't want to offer him a new contract. I mean, Liverpool aren't as good as they once were because they're a mid-table Premier League team now. But yeah, I can see why he wanted to leave England. But I wish he could stay at Wrexham because you were absolutely superb. Benjamin Sisko, how the board rate him as a C, I can sort of see why. We did we really pay 95? We did pay £95 million for him, but I think that's money well spent for a sort of rotation option, playing a lot of games, scoring 25 goals and 11 assists. That's 36 goal contributions. That is very, very good. And obviously, Thibaut Picards joined us on a permanent transfer. He played pretty alright. 11 goals, 7 goal contributions. That's pretty good. Sisko actually got signing of the season, so that's even more weirder than the ratings. So that's just crazy. Then obviously Almenides only a backup to Mola. Played some games and he looked again another decent player. I'm not going to say he's going to be the first choice one day. He might become first choice, but I very much doubt it. But he's definitely one for the future. Definitely will be with us next season, possibly. Then obviously Cortese, only a young player, 20 years old, still got bags of potential. So hopefully he can improve this season. Then obviously Donnarumma obviously came in from Poches, who left. So yeah, fine backup. But obviously he had to play a few games here and there because what's our goalkeeper called? Rivera did pick up a pretty nasty injury, which kept him on the sidelines for 3 months. I think that's where most of our form was a bit iffy. So obviously the board wanted us to qualify for the Champions League. We won the Premier League. So obviously, let's have a look at our form. Yeah, I mean, the start of the season was actually pretty decent, but just a couple defeats and lots of draws. Then it got really bad in like the December and January, where we lost a few games on the trot, but we didn't lose that. We lost 8 games this season. I mean, most of the games we lost were against teams we should be beating, like Brighton. I mean, yeah, Brighton and Newcastle were the 2 big defeats, and we had lots of draws. If we can cut the draws down and turn them into wins, yeah, we would won the Premier League by some distance. So hopefully we can do that next season. Obviously, Champions League, it didn't really go to plan like last year. Didn't get to the final. Got knocked out by Real Madrid, which was absolutely ridiculous. We lost more than 4-3, I'm fairly sure. I'm fairly sure we lost like, I don't know how many goals we lost by, but it definitely wasn't that scoreline. I think we lost like 11-7 on aggregate. So obviously FA Cup, we won that. Then Carabao Cup, we did get to the semi-final, but couldn't quite get over the line against Chelsea, getting knocked out on penalties, I believe it was. But our biggest win this year was obviously our 12-1 win against Ike Athens in I think that was the second leg in the Champions League playoff round. Obviously, this year we want to finish inside the top 8, which there's no doubt, I'm sure we will do that. Match to remember was a 3-3 draw against Man City. I'd say it's a 5-3 win against Man City. That's the match to remember, in my opinion. Then goal of the season went to Brandon Hunter for his goal against West Brom, which I believe was in the episode two episodes ago. That was the match straight after the Real Madrid defeat, I presume. But we will take a look at that goal again, just to have a quick recap of it, because we've scored lots of great goals over the course of the season. But we will take a look at that goal. I mean, that was absolutely superb. I think that was that outside the foot. I think it was. So obviously, club reputation still 4.5 stars. We're inching closer to being a 5-star reputation team. Sponsorship's gone up massively to 204 million. Broadcast revenue gone down slightly because we didn't have the big run in the Champions League. Corporate hospitality has gone up. Competition prize money again. That's because of the Champions League. Didn't have a massive run in that. Then obviously match day commercial retail has gone up. Merchandise all looking good. Top shirt names being Bishop, Mular, Cisco, Taylor, Morris. I mean, it's fairly obvious who they are at this point. Our best 11 this year was Rivera in goal. Back four of Mollard, Branthwaite, Worrell, and McNeil. Branthwaite and Worrell, they're interesting because I never thought they I didn't really think they play well together, but I guess they did. Then we had Hunter and Taylor in the mid. I think that's probably the best midfield. I think Rodrigo might have to settle to be a backup to Josh Taylor, then obviously Ahmed backup to Hunter. I think that's what we might do this season if the midfield stays the same. Most of the squad should stay the same. I'm not planning on selling anyone, so yeah, it might be a bit of a boring transfer window for me personally. Then we've got Mulat on the right, Veliz out on the left. No Sidre because he's spent a whole chunk of it injured, but he did play quite well towards the end of the season. Then the strike force of Benjamin Sisko and Max Morris. No Andrew Bishop, but to be fair, Benjamin Sisko got over 20 goals this season. Bishop didn't. So Fans player, a young player of the season went to Max Morris, age 24. How does he qualify for young player of the season? I really don't get that. That should be for players under the age of 21. That just in my opinion, that's similar to Net Shed. That's like players under the age of 20, so should be like that. But he wins young player and fan player of the season. Signing of Cisco obviously went to Cisco. Top goal scorer was Max Morris with 42 assists. Andrew Bishop most assists with 20. Max Morris 15 player for matches. Wow. And obviously, of course, I did win 34-35 English Premier Division Manager of the Year. We barely did anything until the last 10 games of the season. That's where we really came alive. And obviously, Max Morris also won English Football of the Year and English Players Player of the Year. And he broke numerous records, including most overall goals by a player in the season, most goals by a player in a league match, which is 6, a double hat-trick. Never seen that before in my life. The most player for match awards in the season, obviously 15. And we did break our transfer record, 94 million. That might get broken this episode. Remembered forever. A place in the England Hall of Fame belongs to Clatworthy forever. Yes, thank you very much. I am the best manager. It's certainly in the history of Wrexham. I am on the Legends list and have been on there for quite some time. It's only a matter of doubt they're not gonna name a stadium after me because we're still at the Wrexham Stadium, which I don't know how old it is, 5 years. I don't think they're gonna move out anytime soon. Maybe within the next 5 years. Possibly. I highly doubt it, but it would be nice to have a stadium named after me because it's something that's never actually happened before. What do the board want for next season? So play attacking football, make the most of set pieces, entertaining football, high tempo pressing, sign high reputation players. That's a new one, I believe. I don't think I was on there for last season. Play possession football, yeah. Sign players under the age of 23. I mean, are they blind? Do they look at the transfer business we've done? That's basically what I've been doing since we got into the Championship and the Premier League, signing under the age of 23. In fact, that's probably all I ever do. Maybe a couple of old guys here and there. Work within the wage budget, that should be fairly simple. Increase commercial revenue, spend the original transfer budget. I don't think I'm going to do that. I might spend some of it. I don't think I'm going to spend £170 million. That's quite impossible. Then, as far as wage budget goes, we've got plenty. We've got £1 million spare. That's because I changed what we had from last season into wage budget, because that's sort of what I do. Because I don't really want that. I'd rather just change that into wage budget than the board will give me whatever they like. In this case, it's 170 million. We don't need it, but I'll sure take it. Let's discuss the plans for next season. I think we're good enough to win the Premier League again. Yep, sure. Brandon Hunter agrees. I like him. You're my man. You're saying next year. I mean, yeah, I think you're going to be saying it until we win the Champions League. There's no doubt about that. But I've got nothing else to talk about. It's been a brilliant season. Absolute fantastic season. Let's go to the good old USL. Give our old owners Ryan and Robert a little visit. See how they're getting on after they sold the club to probably our best owner in years. Sherman's set to move to Liverpool. I mean, I wouldn't be down for that. He was a good player, but he's not going to get in front of a Sidray anytime soon. So potentially a new left winger could be on the cards. But in terms of other transfer business and outgoings, I ain't got a clue what's happening. So I guess we'll just jump forward to the opening day of the transfer window. Well, we might have done some transfer business, but honestly, I don't think we would have done any. Well, it's the 12th of June and the beginning of the brand new transfer window. We haven't done any business yet, but we have started to get a few rumours. This is our first rumour of the summer. Real Madrid identify Mollard as a target, which could be ready. The move could be potentially 30 million. I don't know how much we pay for him. I mean, he looks more than £30 million right back. He looks like at least 70 million, but we paid £75 million for him. He's actually been decent, but I don't think. I mean, I'm struggling to think of what right backs will actually go for 80 million. So yeah, I think 30 million. Yes, is a massive loss, but I mean, look at our finances. It's not going to make a huge difference at the moment. It's not, but I think more like, yeah, if we could find a suitable replacement for him, I wouldn't mind selling Monarch because he didn't really have a great season last year. 1 goal, 4 assists. I mean, 4 assists from a right back. Absolutely terrible, that is. But that's not the reason why we're here. Let's take a look at City being rumoured with. We have been rumoured with a few, I think a few Spanish players. Well, they might be all Spanish players, judging by the name. So, first rumoured players, Gavi. He is out of contract at Man City. I was going to say, I'm not paying £128 million for him, and I'm not sure where he would really fit in the squad, because we've got 2 great Masalas, well, 3 great Masalas in fact, including obviously the likes of Josh Taylor, Brandon Hunter, and Rodrigo, so I'm not sure where he would fit in. I guess he could be a backup deep play playmaker, but realistically, I don't think we need him. I mean, he'd be a great player to have to add to our world-class squad, because he is world-class. He's a Premier League player, not world-class, but he is only 30 and just turned 30. Actually, he'll be 31 soon. We've been linked with Vicente Arola, another Spanish player. I was correct about that. He's a little bit younger, but not going to get any much better. So I think I'm fine with sticking with Ahmed as a backup centre mid. We've been linked with Juan Montes Sancho, who's a left mid or defensive mid. It's not really any positions we use, and he doesn't. He looks awful. He looks awful. Why would we want to sign him? Okay, he's only 19, but he just looks absolutely rubbish, absolutely hideous. Apart from that, we haven't done any other business. Oh, here we go. We haven't. That's ridiculous, right? What's happened to the 30 million that they were gonna give me? I'll take 30 million. Take 30 to 33, if not a little bit more. Let's go up to 33. I shall go 34. We'll accept that. We'll accept that because we've got plenty of money to spend. 34 million. I think Mollard, he's been all right, but I think he served his tenure at Wrexham. I think he will be the first player to leave the club. So, yeah, definitely a right back is on the card. But apart from that, I'm not sure what else. I mean, looking at this squad, Jared Branthwaite's been rumoured with a move to Saudi Arabia and is wanted by Manchester United. But similar to Mollard, we're not going to make a profit on him. We paid 70 million for him. I haven't seen that yet, but he's had a couple goals, but he's 32. He ain't going to get much more expensive than that. Brent Roll is wanted by Inter Milan. Kushnerov is wanted by PSG. Armour is wanted by a whole host of clubs on loan. He's not going out on loan because he's a championship player, but he can play in the Premier League. Sidre is wanted by Chelsea, but I can assure you, he's not going anywhere. Sidre, he's staying for next year because he's got unfinished business because of his injury. He does. And with him fit, we've got the best front four in the Premier League, and that is going to stay like that for this season or for the foreseeable future for the rest of the save. So I think we'll just jump to the probably middle of July, where definitely at the least we will have signed a new right back. We do have just under a month before we play our first Premier League fixture, which will be against Arsenal. So not a very easy start, but not hard. It's sort of in the middle. If you look at us with Wrexham FC, we should be beating anyone and everyone. So Arsenal should be a piece of pudding, I would say, similar to the start. Well, Arsenal, Sunderland, Leeds, Nottingham Forest, Millwall in the Premier League, Man City. Yeah, we've got Man City, Chelsea, Tottenham all in a row. Man United, Man City back to back. Yeah, I mean it should be fine. I think we'll be fine this year. I mean we were fine last year, but we won't worry about what happened last year. But it's fine. We have done a little bit of a transfer business. A couple players have left the club. Obviously, Jean-Claude Mollard has left to join Real Madrid for 34 million. Jared Branthwaite joined Al Hilal for 23.5 million. Again, a massive loss. But yeah, I mean he is 32 and he's on a big wage. I feel like Al Hilal have also signed. They haven't signed. Erling Haaland has left the Premier League. I just can't remember who he's gone to exactly, but he's joined some teams in Saudi Arabia for 1.5 million a week, which is absolutely ridiculous. So 2 players have left. 1 player has joined us, and that is Ferran Ripoll. He is a Spanish right back, 3 stars, well, 2.5 stars. Right back, 5-star potential. Good Premier League player, could potentially improve a lot. He comes in from Barcelona for 39 million, so I'd say a cheap transfer, cheaper than most players. Not like 75 million we paid for Mollard. So we're almost certainly going to make a profit on this guy if his value is already through the roof at 83 to 100 million. That is quite ridiculous. He is going to be some players. Possesses a decent amount of acceleration, which is very good. Not very tall, which I don't mind a short fullback because it means he can get up and down quite quickly. The strength, it's a little bit worrying, but he's a little lad. It'll be fine. He hasn't made any Spanish appearances just yet, but he will do once he starts banging them in at right back. So this is what the squad looks like. I mean, it's fairly self-explanatory at this point. So goalkeepers, obviously Donnarumma and Rivera. Right backs, obviously we've got McNeil and Ripoll, whose best position is the right winger. It's not. It's right back. And what a Wally. He's a natural right back, not a natural right winger. So he's right back. And obviously centre backs Worrell, Cortese, Kushinov. Obviously we are waiting on another centre back to come in, and that could potentially be Shusko Gvardiol to provide cover. Actually quite cheap as well. Wages not so much, but I'm not concerned about that. Then obviously left back same as last year, Militao and Jason McNeil. And I think they're both going to be staying. Jason McNeil, we have offered him a new contract, which he has actually accepted, which is good. Then centre mids, Brandon Hunter, Josh Taylor, Rodrigo, and Ahmet, same as last year. Ahmet still wanted by multiple clubs on loan, but I don't think we're going to loan him out because he will become homegrown next year. So maybe next year we loan him out. I don't really know what to do with him because he's a good backup to have, but then again, he does need game time, but which he will get this year. Then obviously right wingers, same as last year, Mular and Picard. Picard, we have rejected an offer from Newcastle. I think it was around 40 million. It just wasn't enough. If they offer at least 50 million, maybe I might be persuaded, but at the moment he's just a great backup. And when he does play, he's absolutely fantastic. And obviously left wingers, again you get the theme, it's the same as last year. It's Citre and German, who was rumoured with a move to Liverpool, has signed a new contract to take him up to 2040, which is absolutely ridiculous, but I think they're two great left wingers. I mean, Citre now valued up to 166 million. We signed him for 43 million. That's right ridiculous. And obviously strikers, you get the theme here again. Same as last year. Cisco, Bishop, Morris, and Lino. They're all great strikers. Lino now valued up to 53 to 60 million. He's definitely a good Premier League player. He's slowly but surely continuing to improve. Obviously, he didn't score quite as many goals last year, but he's playing some good football. We might start him a bit more in the Champions League games, maybe in the Cup games as well, because obviously I think we'll have our strike force of Morris and Bishop, then obviously the secondary strike force of Cisco and Lino. I think that's what we've got to start doing, playing the same partnership each game. So I think that's what we'll start doing. When Cisco plays, Lino will play. Then when Bishop plays, Morris will play alongside him, not like mix and match like we did mostly last year. But apart from that, just a centre back, and our squad is complete. We are in the Community Shield against Man United, but it's a Community Shield. I don't know what the board want. Challenge for it? Do they? No. Be competitive in the Community Shield. Again, be competitive. That means I think we are good enough to beat Man United. We beat them a couple of times last year, if not most of the time, all the time. So that should be a nice season win. And hopefully, by the time we get to the first Premier League game of the season, we will have, at the very least, signed our second and only player of the transfer window. So there might be another signing, but at the moment, it looks like it's just going to be one more signing to be announced. Well, as predicted a month ago, we have just made that one more signing. It wasn't the signing we were expecting. I have expected us to sign Shusko Gvardiol, but unfortunately he accepted. When did he accept to join in the first place? I think he went. He went. He's gone to Saudi Arabia for 1.5 million a week. I don't think we can really compete with that. He is literally 1.5 million a week and 1.5 million after tax. That's quite ridiculous. That's why so many footballers go to Saudi Arabia, because they don't pay tax. By the looks of it, that's ridiculous. That is very ridiculous money. That is. I don't know why he wants that much money, because that is just absolutely ridiculous. I don't know how much that is. It's at least, I can't do the maths. It's probably like at least 52, 60 million a year, I reckon. But that's who needs that much money? Should just come to Wrexham. But I mean, we have signed a centre back. We've only done 2 signings. I will just go through them both. Ferro Rippon was our first signing. Obviously, Spanish right back, 3 stars of current ability, 5-star potential, good Premier League player, can potentially, hopefully, become a world-class right back. Obviously, signed him from Barcelona. Has actually made quite a few appearances for them. Didn't realise that. He made 8 appearances for them last year. Very quite started 6 games, 2 from the bench. So we've signed him for 39 million. Then our centre back that's come in is Malik Tior. He's a German centre back, 3.5 stars of current ability, good Premier League player. He comes in from AC Milan for 27 million. I'm not a madman and spending 70 million on the centre back, so 27 million I think seems all right. And we might, yes, we'll probably make a slight loss on him if we ever sell him, or we might end up retiring in a couple of years' time, which I suspect he will be. He's only coming in, he's agreed to be a squad player, so don't expect him to play many games, but he might play a few games here and there. He did play in the last game, which was the Community Shield, which we did win. We did beat Man United on penalties. We love beating Man United on penalties. We beat them in the FA Cup semi-final on penalties, and I would beat them in the Community Shield on penalties. We just love beating Man United on penalties, so we really do. But this is the squad, primarily the same as last year. Obviously, you've got goalkeepers, Donnarumma and Rivera. I think we know which one's our first choice. It's obviously Rivera by a long string. Then right backs, obviously, Almenides and Ripoll. Obviously, Ripoll, yes, his best role is a right winger, but we are training him to be a world-class right back. That's his natural position. And obviously, centre backs, new guy Malik Tior, alongside the OG regulars, Brem Worrell, Cortese, and Kujanov. Left backs, they've been the same for goodness how many seasons, at least 2 or 3 seasons, I reckon. Milo Talby, what's wrong with him? Angry to have been left out of the Algeria squad. That's not my fault, that's your fault, Milo. So we've got Milo Talby and Jason McNeil, then obviously centre mids, yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Brandon Hunter, Josh Taylor, that's the first choice centre mids, and backups will be Rodrigo. I mean, he's not really a backup, is he? He's just there as a rotation option. Then we've got Armit as well, who is primarily a backup option, but will play some game time when he needs to. Then obviously right wingers will be the world-class Daniel Muller. Then obviously his backup is Timo Pickard. Then obviously on the left we've got Citre and Sherman, who are probably 2 of the best left wingers. I mean, Sherman, we brought him in as like a 3-star. Didn't think he was going to get any good kind of player, but now he's just absolutely ridiculous. We only bought him for 7 million. That's quite something. So he's 4-star potential, 4.5 star potential, and Citre obviously has the first choice, but Sherman is a adequate replacement should Citre ever leave the club. Then obviously strikers, same as last year, and they will always be the same. It will be Benjamin Sisko, Andrew Bishop, Max Wells, and Lino. I can't remember the last transfer window we did where the squad is basically the same barring 2 players, and obviously the players that have left the club. Jean-Claude Mollard joined Real Madrid for 34 million, and Jared Braithwaite joined Al Hilal for 23 million. So we are, well, I mean, I couldn't care less if it's a profit. It's not a profit. It would be £9 million loss in the transfer window, but I'm sure we'll make that back at some point. But in terms of finances, we've still got 160 million left in the transfer kitty. Still got plenty of wage budget. I don't think we're going to spend 160 million. I mean, still got a couple of weeks left of the transfer window, but I don't know why. I love having a tycoon owner, but it's not necessary giving me that much transfer budget when I'm fairly happy with the squad we've built, and I don't think it really needs any more much improvement because the players we've signed, then one of them has potential, and the other one is pretty good anyway. So let's take a look at the season preview, see where it predicts us to finish. First, I agree with that. Do we have any players in the Dream 11? 1 player. What? Actually, 2 players. Anthony Rivera has made the Dream 11, and Daniel Muller is in up front. No Max Morris, no Bishop, none of the best strikers in England. Maybe Evan Ferguson. Actually, he's Irish. He's not English. So our key players are predicted to be Muller and Morris. I mean, I completely agree with that. So what's our predicted 11? Okay, Rivera in goal. That's pretty bang on. McNeil probably won't play right back. Then we've got Warren Kujanov and Talby. That's probably correct. And then we've got Citre out on the left, yeah. Hunter Taylor out on the right, in the middle. Then Pickard out on the right. Probably no, because that'd be Muller. So obviously Muller will be playing, just not up front. That will be Bishop next to Morris. So I mean, for once, the projected lineup that's pretty bang on. Just a couple of players out of position, and a couple of players need to be added into the squad. So I think that squad is pretty good. So obviously, last transfer window, the last transfer special, I think we jumped straight to the transfer window. I don't think we're going to do that this year because obviously we won the Premier League and we want to see our first games of the season where we try and begin our title defence. Obviously, last time we tried to do that, didn't really go to plan, but hopefully it's a different season this season and we will begin our title defence against Arsenal and Sunderland. If you have enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more Daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.